What's going on, guys? It's Mehdi, and in today's video I want to talk to you about how I generate $3,000 to $5,000 every single day just using Instagram. And after testing countless things, I can tell you it all boils down to having an optimized Instagram profile. So in this video I want to show you the same thing that so many profitable creators are doing that's going to turn your profile from a soul-sucking scrolling machine that's wasting your time into something profitable that's going to allow you to generate $3,000 to $5,000 predictably every single day, as I've done for myself and so many of my clients. And the best part about it is this: it doesn't require much time. It requires 2 to 3 hours a day maximum, and it requires virtually zero money spent on ads. So if you listen closely, by the end of this video, we're going to jump over to my laptop. I'm going to screen share with you and give you the exact blueprint so you can walk away and implement this as soon as today. Okay, so now that we're screen sharing, we're going to use my Instagram profile as the example, considering that this is the exact thing that I use. So essentially, the first phase is phase one. Before any of this can work for you, you need to pick a niche. A niche is very simply a small group of people that are experiencing a problem that you can help in return for money. So number one, if you have an area of expertise, let's say you can help people with how to start an agency, how to start an e-commerce store, how to get into X shape of their life, whether it's the best shape, whether it's super shredded or whatever the case is, or how to build a dropshipping store. Any of these you can pretty much package up into a great coaching offer that you can use. Now let's say for a second you're like, well, look, I don't have any area of expertise. What do I do? Then what you're going to do is you're going to create a done for you offer where you're going to go to the coaches and you can help them with things like growth operating or running their ads or organic growth and a number of different things, the email marketing, the list goes on. The most important thing that you want to know is you want to pick quick and stick to it for the long term, because that's going to allow you to see consistency. If you keep going out there and changing your offer, chances are you're going to get stuck and your audience is going to get very confused. Now that that's out the way, let's go over to your Instagram profile. So on my Instagram profile, you'll see the very first thing that I've done is I have an SEO optimized username, right? So when people search up the term that they're looking for a high ticket coach, I'm going to rank for a high ticket coach, right? And this is very important. You'll see a lot of fitness trainers that have done this too. So if we go on the search and we write fitness trainer, you'll see that there's people within their bio that have written fitness trainer. And they've got their location. So if I'm looking for a fitness trainer in Dubai, it's almost like a search engine where I can find it. Kind of like when we go on Google and we're looking for best Chinese restaurant in Dubai. It's very, very similar to that. So that's the first thing that you want to do to really optimize your profile. The second one is your I help statement. And the most important thing about your I help statement is it should be clear, concise. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It just lets the people that are visiting your profile know that they're in the right place, okay? So in my case, I help coaches scale to $50,000 to $100,000 every single month. So if a coach is visiting my profile and they're like, well, I do want to scale to that goal, then they understand that I am someone that can particularly help them with that, okay? The second statement in your bio is going to be your authority statement. If you're already an expert and you've already coached clients and worked with them, then it's important to insert your authority statement. We've helped 500 people get into the best shape of their lives. We've helped 500 people lose over 20 pounds. We've helped 500 agencies get 10 more book calls, and vice versa. If you're someone that doesn't yet have results, then you can have like a guarantee statement. For example, we will help you get 10 book calls in your calendar every single day guaranteed. It's more of a promise statement as to what you're going to do that differentiates you from everybody else. Again, super simple. You can work with a couple different variations. Now for the third line in your bio, to really optimize it, what you can do is one of two things. So for me, I like to keep it super simple. I like to say, hey, if you want to work with me, then click this link below, and we're going to break down where the link leads to very shortly. But if you're someone, and I've tested this before and it works just as amazing and just as well, you can also have another statement. For example, if you've promised to help people lose 10 pounds, say, get my free weight loss guide to help you achieve X. And you can link it to a free weight loss guide where they can click the link and access your free product that's going to build enough trust to show them that you are capable of helping them with the thing that you promise, and eventually they will upgrade to your paid stuff. It's a very, very helpful thing to have. So next up, if you want to optimize your Instagram profile, I almost forgot to say this, and it kind of goes without saying, is you want a nice, clean profile picture. I can't tell you how many people have logos, and I personally don't recommend it because Instagram is a very personal place and people like to do business with people. So if you're just sticking on a picture of your company's logo and stuff like that, it's going to be very, very difficult to resonate with that person. Unless you're a food company or something like that, it's always well to have a picture of yourself so people know who they're doing business with. A clean headshot works especially well. I know I've got something a little bit different there. Keep it clean, keep it crisp, so when people click view profile, they can see exactly who you are. The next thing that I want to move on to is your story highlights, okay? So in my story highlights, I've got a number of wins that show and prove that, if I'm showing you how to generate clients, obviously that's something that I'm able to do myself. And I've got, countless Stripe results over here. And again, I've had several people just DM me saying, hey, I've seen your results, seen that you generate over $6,000 in a day? What strategies are you using that are currently working for you? And that's a great conversation starter, because when people look at your profile, they're sussing you out. They're seeing whether you can actually deliver on the promise that, you provide to people. Second of all is client wins, right? So what I like to do is I like to insert wins from my clients, people that have worked with me, people that have actually paid me money, and now they've seen a result, right? So video testimonials, I've got screenshots in here. I've got a bunch of great stuff that works. So people can always see, okay, this guy is capable of helping clients of all different ages, niches, backgrounds, etc., etc. So he is the real deal. And you want to have that effect on your potential clients. Now, important thing to note is if you don't yet have testimonials, if you don't yet have client wins, what can you do about it? Because you might get stuck in this situation, be like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to build trust. Well, great thing to do, and especially what I did when I was first starting out, is I didn't have a way to generate trust. So what I would do is from the free book calls that I would do, so often I would reach out to potential clients, I would offer to book them in for a call and offer them some free information, free value, and they would join these calls with me. And regardless of whether they would buy or not, I would make it my mission to give them as much value as possible. So by the time they left that call, they were like, wow, this guy really knows his stuff. Even though I didn't pay him money, it is something that I would at least consider doing. And in return for those sessions, I'd ask them, hey, look, even though you didn't buy from me today, would you be open to recording me a quick 30-second video, sharing your experience and whether you found this call valuable? And what it allowed me to do is start collecting testimonials. And people will turn around, they'll say, hey, I've just spoken to Mehdi. I've got a ton of value. If you're looking for help in growing your coaching business, getting more traffic, getting more sales, he's the guy. And I would start to post these testimonials and put them in my client wins and highlight areas and start posting it on my Instagram story, and eventually led to building up enough trust as a stepping stone to where I would get my first client and I could deliver them results. And then I got a testimonial from an actual client that worked with me. So that's a thing that you can do. And then lifestyle, right? So I often like to put a little bit of lifestyle on my Instagram profile because at the end of the day, in the nature of the business that I'm in, which is the high ticket coaching space, a lot of high-ticket coaches want to build a life of freedom. And it's something that I've been able to thoroughly experience through having my business. For me, I feel like it does two things. A, it's aspirational. People want to be like the people that they want to work with. That's number one. Number two, especially in the coaching space, it's people get to know me on a personal level because people got to know you, which helps to build the know. They got to like you. And if people know you on a more personal level, it builds a likability factor. And they got to trust you, which is what your authority statement, your wins, your client testimonials, and your value builds, right? It's a trust factor. So that ticks off the know and like. So next up, we have your 3 pinned posts on your Instagram profile. And these are exceptionally valuable if used correctly. Now, I know a lot of people, the biggest mistake that they make is they tend to pin their highest viewed video. And that's a vanity metric. That's not actually going to drive results. So the way I like to do is I like to split it up into 3 things. The first one is a value post. Something that the minute someone comes to my profile, they can get a very clear understanding of what I do, who I help in a lot more detail, and actually get some value around that topic. Now, at the end of that first video, what I like to do is I like to give them a call to action where if they comment the word start, I have a ManyChat flow. If you don't know what that is, it's an automated sequence of messages that goes out when they comment a keyword that will take them over and give them an actionable guide that they can start using. And from the actionable guide, it will take them to a book call where they can now inquire about my services and essentially buy from me. So this is a super valuable video to have. If you want to check out what that looks like, you can head over to my Instagram to kind of watch it in full and start to model off of it. The second video is a start here video, right? And the purpose for this video is you want people to get the most out of your profile, right? Instagram is a very competitive place where people are fighting for, your ideal client's attention. In this start here video, I basically break down, hey, thank you for visiting my profile, okay? Here's how you're gonna get the most out of it. You wanna turn the post notifications on, you wanna get this. If I have a YouTube channel, you can go out there and check out a ton of value, So by the end of the video, they can not only get a really good understanding of why they're gonna wanna visit my Instagram, but what they're gonna get out of it. And essentially, turn on some notifications so that every time I post, they're notified and they get a much higher engagement rate. And I've noticed that this has worked extremely well. And the final one is a bit of a lifestyle video. Again, just because I don't just want to seem extremely salesy or pitchy throughout my profile, I want people to genuinely build a great relationship with me. Now, an alternative, and this is something that I've been working on, that I'm about to launch for my profile, but I'll just give it to you because I don't want to gatekeep. is having a pinned video that shares a little bit more about your story. Because the minute someone visits your profile, especially if you've got like an ideal client in mind that you're working with, if you have a story in your journey that resonates with them. For example, you were a fitness trainer. Once upon a time, you were out of shape and you couldn't control your eating habits. You didn't know what workout plans to follow, and you were stuck for a long time and you were super overwhelmed, just like your client, until you found X formula that allowed you to achieve the best shape of your life, more energy, more time with your kids. You now sharing that story is going to make it so that every time someone visits your profile, that resonates to being out of shape, being lost and not having a direction and getting to where you want to go to. Your story emulates their struggle, proving to them that you're someone that can help them get from A to B. So if you don't want to, have a lifestyle video here, again, you don't have to. Something that works equally as well is a story post or a story reel. And that way, again, it boosts your conversion rates absolutely massively. I use storytelling in a lot of my marketing in one of the videos I'm about to show you in just a second, but I also use it on a lot of my, sales calls with potential clients, and it works extremely well. Because remember, stories sell, facts tell. So once your story highlights out the way, the next thing that you want to focus on and really optimize for to get more conversions and more sales is the first 9 pictures on your profile grid. Because a mentor of mine taught me this and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. He said, within 60 seconds of looking at your Instagram profile, within 60 seconds of meeting you, most people, not everyone, but the vast majority of people can make a decision based on whether they would or wouldn't consider buying. So if you notice on my profile, yes, I know I have the flashy Lamborghinis and stuff like that, but you don't need that stuff. What you need is just clean pictures where people can get to know you as a person. Because what I used to do, and I noticed my engagement rate drop extremely massively, is I used to spam all my reels on my main profile grid, and it started to look extremely cluttered. My engagement dropped, I would get far less clients, etc. But when I replaced that with a nice, clean looking profile grid where people could visit and say, okay, well, this guy's into his fitness, he's into working on his business, he likes to travel, he likes to have a bit of fun from time to time, and he also helps people with the business world. It made my interaction experience with my potential clients so much nicer, so much more seamless, a lot less salesy. Because, and I have a hot take on this, but essentially if you go out there and just spam reel after reel after reel, your profile can begin to look extremely cluttered and people can miss the point about who you are and how you can help them. So I say the 9 pictures on your profile grid are extremely important. It's kind of like going to a car showroom. If you've ever been to a car showroom, you'll notice that even though they might have 100 cars, they're not just going to place 100 cars on the lot. Like you go to BMW or a Mercedes, they pick their 9 newest and best cars and they put them on display. And when you see those cars, it hooks you into the store and makes you want to inquire about the other cars and the other models and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I look at my Instagram profile, at least the first 9 pictures on my grid. So once you've ticked off these first few things, you've got the search engine optimized username, which shows people what you do. You've got the optimized bio. You've got a nice clean profile picture. You've got high converting story highlights. Your first 3 pinned posts and the first 9 posts on your profile grid. The next thing that you want to focus on is the link in your bio. And this is super important. I see so many people completely f this up. What you don't want to do is you don't want to spam it with like 20 links, because remember, you don't want people to experience cognitive overload. You don't want them to think, oh, I gotta go down 10 different directions. This guy has this ebook and then this link and then this $7 offer and then this $100 offer. That's the biggest mistake that you can make. The whole point of your Instagram profile is to funnel someone down from being this broad, random viewer on Instagram to now funneling themselves into becoming a client of yours. The question is, how do you do that? Well, number one, you don't post 10 to 20 links that lead to your Facebook, your Instagram, your pet dog's profile, none of that stuff. You keep it super simple. So what I personally like to do is I like to send it over to a quick video which addresses that person's specific pain point. So the minute they click on my video, they understand, hey, if I'm a coach and I'm struggling, then here's how this guy can help me out. Here's why this guy can help me out. By the end of watching that video, they're ready to book a call. And everything that you want to do should funnel into a book call, at least starting out when you're optimizing your Instagram profile. Later on, you can move into more complicated things like webinars, like events and stuff like that. But just to keep things super simple, to help you get to that stage where you're consistently printing $3,000 to $5,000 daily, you want to stick with something as simple as this. So just to give you a little bit more insight on the video, if I was to start this video, I'd be like, hey, if you're watching this video, you visited from my Instagram profile and maybe you've seen some of my content and you're a high ticket coach or consultant and you're struggling with X, Y, and Z problem. And I know how that feels because I've been there. Here's 3 things that I used to overcome that. And if you enjoyed these 3 things, here's how you can book a call. So very simple, confirm where they've come from, confirm that they have a problem, confirm that they have a desire to solve that problem, give them so much value and confirm that if they enjoyed that value, they can now book in a call to see how you can now solve that problem. So on this page, just to make it super high converting, have a description about yourself. This is my business partner Z, and essentially some client testimonials can help massively, right? Just to kind of give people a ton of reasons as to why they need to book a call and how impactful it's going to be if they do, right? And by the end of that, you can have some questions that you ask them just to really qualify them down and make sure that they're a good fit for your program. So by the time they schedule a call, they're 90% of the way there from purchasing. So this is essentially the breakdown of the Instagram optimized conversion funnel that I've been using and has allowed me to generate well over $3.2 million online. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got some step-by-step actionable tips that you can really go walk away and use and begin implementing right now. So if you've enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button. But more importantly, if you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, I'm stuck. I don't know what to put in my bio. I still don't have a good understanding of how to step-by-step structure out these pinned posts that you have, or even create the link in the bio. Then you can very easily book a call below. Inside of that call, I've got everything that you're going to need to get this set up within 48 hours. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Comment below what you'd like to see next, and I look forward to sharing it with you.